And welcome. It's our big story for Saturday, where we bring you the most impactful and compelling news of the week. Now, this morning, we look into a shocking incident involving the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC. The chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has ordered the arrest of 2 of its officers for assaulting a female worker at a regional hotel in Ojo, Lagos. Now, this incident captured a video and now viral, by the way. It sparked outrage and calls for accountability on the part of the EFCC.
So let's give you a brief summary of the events, right? So on the early hours of June 27th, EFCC operatives invaded the regional hotel, arresting several people and allegedly firing shots. Now, amidst this operation, a female staff member was manhandled by the officers, an act that has led to significant public backlash. Now, the EFCC chairman has not only ordered the arrest of the involved officers, but also a thorough investigation into the operation, promising disciplinary action against those found guilty.
Now, to discuss this, we have with us a special guest, or 2 special guests. We have Barrister Victor Okoye and, of course, also lawyer Isa Tochukwu. Gentlemen, you are welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm hoping that they both hear us. Oh, good. There we are. So let's start with you, Victor. What was your initial reaction when you saw this video with the EFCC officers at the regional hotel? When you saw it as a lawyer, what first came to mind?
I think the Lagos incident was actually an unpleasant one. But you know, just like you asked, as a legal mind, what came to mind is actually the legality or otherwise of the conduct. That was actually what came to mind. So basically, the conduct, as portrayed on the media, because it is good to make this very imperative point at this stage that the law is not sentimental, the law is not emotional. The law is the law. As important, as salient, and destructive as public opinion can be, the law is still not public opinion. Yes. So when I saw that video, what came to mind was actually the legality or otherwise of what was actually portrayed on the media. So basically, the EFCC, of course, they have the power of search. They have the power of search. But the way they invaded the property and the manner in which they conduct that search is what will define the legality or otherwise of that action. So if I am to take it to the legal perspective, of course, Section 143 to 157 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act provides for search warrant. Yes. So a search warrant is an order given under the hand of a judge or magistrate for a search to be conducted on any person or a premise. So in the circumstance, when a search warrant is issued, the agency, the search warrant is issued, whether the police or EFCC or any other agency of government, have the powers to enter any premise and search the property once there is reasonable suspicion that there is anything upon which a crime must have been committed or that is connected to a crime. So in the instance, we can say that assuming, of course, I don't know, but assuming that the officers that invaded the state hotel, that they are well equipped with their search warrant, then we start talking about the extent of the legality of the action, the extent of the legality. Of course, even it may not sound pleasant, but the character of the search warrant is that it can be executed at any time, including midnight, whether it is holiday, whether it is on a Saturday or Sunday. A search warrant can be executed at any time of the day. And it is such that if an officer of any agency of government is denied access to any premises when he wants to execute a search warrant and he is being, there is hostility or he's being refused access into the place where he wants to exercise his right to the execution of the search warrant, the law empowers him to use reasonable force, mark the word reasonable force to get access into the property for the purpose of executing the search warrant issued by a judge or a magistrate. So in instance, assuming that they have their search warrant, the question will now be to what extent were they reasonable in the force that they used. Of course, we saw in the video the very unfortunate situation whereby a lady who is being reported to be a staff of the hotel was being assaulted. Yes, so to that extent, of course, one can say that this can amount to illegality. But as per how they entered into the premises, it was obvious probably that they were denied access into the premises, which warranted them using the force that they now use to get access into the property. But it is very, very important that at every time, public officers should know that the power they are executing, that they must exercise their powers within the purview of the law. So that whatever you do outside the law, in excess of the law,
Victor. Victor.
And you can be held responsible for.
All right, Victor. We also have Isa Tochukwu, so we would also like to get his take on the matter as well.
Isa, if you can hear us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Isa, I think it's touched so much on that topic. So I'd like to ask you instead, all right? So the EFCC's chairman has ordered the arrest of the officers involved and promised a detailed investigation into the matter. Do you think that's enough when it comes to this situation?
The order made by the EFCC chairman to arrest those officers involved is a commendable one, but that does not bring it to an end. The problem is that this has been like a sequential occurrence. Every time these guys go to, exercise their prosecutorial or arrest powers, whatsoever it may be called, you see them, breaching abusing some of their powers, and this is unacceptable because the position of the law is very clear. If you look at Section 34 of the 1999 Constitution, it provides for the freedom, right to dignity of human persons, right? Now, if you have the power to arrest, that does not give you another power to abuse the person you are trying to arrest, i.e. the suspect in the instance case. So issue of saying that you are going to arrest the officers or the officer should be arrested, if I were the victim or the suspect, I'm going to take it up after the main issue because my right has been infringed upon. And I should be heard upon that basis. If you had abused my rights in the process of trying to exercise your own right, then there's a limitation to which you can exercise your right. And that is what we're saying, that it is not enough for EFCC chairman to issue a directive for those officers to be arrested. The EFCC should issue a public apology to some of these people because even in law, they are still presumed innocent until proven guilty. So on the instance, I do not think that the directive of the EFCC chairman to arrest the officers involved in some of those Gestapo style of arrest is enough to forestall the problem. I think there should be a kind of example to show deterrence to some of these officers.
Okay. Now, Isa, I still want to maintain, I still want to talk to you on this one. Now, regarding the style or the modus operandi of the EFCC when it comes to barging into residence or searching people's cars, what does the law have to say about that?
I think my colleagues on the studio have said something about it, and I won't differ much. The truth is that once you have an arrest warrant, you can assess the premises upon which that arrest warrant was issued to exercise, that arrest warrant and bring it to its full effect. So now, for instance, if the FCC had an arrest warrant to go into that hotel premises to effect an arrest, and they could not assess that hotel premises, there is a justification for the officers to exercise a reasonable means to assess that particular premises and effect an arrest. But this is one part. Another part is you have assessed the premises. Now, in the course of trying to effect that your arrest, does it permit you to hit on the suspect? Does it permit you to bundle the suspect? Does it permit you to make the suspect?
Isa, I'm glad you're asking this question.
This is a different issue.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're raising these questions because then when I saw that video and all the cases that we've seen in the past, it makes you wonder how many cases have slipped through the cracks that the media has not been able to cover. And so this is my final question for both gentlemen here, which is if a victim of abuse, especially at the hands of either the EFCC officials or officials who are not even supposed to be using this excessive use of force at all, is watching this, how can they get justice? Just so they can get justice at the end.
You see, you can only get justice when you activate your power and your right to the proper institution. like we say in law, the court is not a Father Christmas. It doesn't give you what you do not ask for. So you can only get justice when you approach the court to lay complaints that your right has been infringed upon. Until you do that, I do not see any way where you can get justice, except for some lawyers who are into human rights, who wishes to take it up. And then again, you still need the consent of that particular victim or suspect for them to get justice. I cannot go now and say, I want to file a case in court for them to get justice without them briefing me.
All right, let's take Victor Okoye's take on that same question.
So do.
If we can get Victor Okoye's take on that same question. Victor, please. Where can people go for recourse for...
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so thank you very much. Just like my learned friend said, I think taking a fundamental right action against the agency can get one justice. But before that, or with that, I would also want to add that it is very important that even government agencies like the police and EFCC should know that they need the confidence of the public. Like, we shouldn't, exercise this right in such a manner that the people will not have confidence in us. I think there is need for us to review these practices, this right to be exercised judiciously and standardiously in such a way that the people will have confidence in us. We shouldn't be acting like conventional criminals in exercising this right. If not, the people we are supposed to be protecting and defending will not be seeing us as the threat. So it is good that these people, they can get justice in court, but it is my advice to these agencies that they should act within the law and in such a way that the public will have confidence in the agency of government. Thank you very much.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. We appreciate you for doing this with us. Victor and Isa, they've been with us just talking about the incidents of the videos you just saw now of the EFCC barging into the hotel room and assaulting the female hotel staff. Gentlemen, once again, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.